Guess what, guys? Yeah, more drama in the CSGO scene stemming from the latest debate out there. Today, I read to you guys a statement made by Dev1ce and then somewhat, I guess, added on to by Dev1ce as well. I'm also going to read some statements from other pro players out there, give you guys my last insights on this case, and hopefully, maybe in the future, we'll talk about this again if anything does come of it. I think at this point in time, I've come to realize that we are never going to see eye to eye when it comes time for explaining both sides, and I will generalize a bit here because it does seem to be a pretty two-sided thing, that being a lot of pro players from the non-Brazilian scene not liking the fact that threats are being tossed at a 16-year-old pro who has not been confirmed to be cheating, but only accused and maybe inferred to be cheating by many figures out there. And then you have the Brazilian side of things. I don't think either side is ever going to fully see eye to eye, no matter how you explain it. I'll do my best in doing so, guys. Let's first read off Dev1ce's statements, though, as he calls out Gaules and for a multitude of reasons. First, stating now a couple days back, calling out cheats have and always will be the biggest pussy move you can do. Accept your loss, move on, and learn. Being an influencer that hasn't even been on the server and calling out cheats, I'm speechless. How would he ever know? But in his follow-up statement just last night, guys, Dev1ce did become aware of, he did misspeak there, as Gaules actually was a former Counter-Strike pro as well. He doubled down on his point, though, that does not actually change Dev1ce's angle towards him. Dev1ce followed up by saying, I can own up to my mistake. I didn't know Gaules was a pro before, but it doesn't change my point, which was, how does he know he's cheating? I can't understand how my tweet can be interpreted as xenophobic and or even racist. It was direct criticism towards Gaules for his actions. Though I recognize that the Brazilian scene gets the most hatred for the community, and I understand frustration, tension it creates, it's not okay, and I can promise you if I ever witness anything personally in that regard, I will also speak up. Don't mix it up, please. And although that seems like a very fair point that many pros and players and community members should and already have backed up, even then, there's somehow this flip side of the argument that people from the Brazilian scene, at least in my opinion, can't seem to see eye to eye on. Dev1ce was clearly making a point towards Gaules, the fact he was reviewing, and I talked about this last video if you guys want to watch that at greater length as well. Gaules reviewing time and time again, changing his Twitch stream to the Tribunal of Justice and reviewing the footage of Leaf. And I've also contacted people in the Brazilian scene to review the same clips I have shown you guys where he does, if not even slightly, infers that something is wrong with Leaf's gameplay, thus potentially inferring he is cheating and sending an audience to the 16-year-old, which of course led to him privating his Twitter account due to threats and in some cases death threats. I understand that's a very small percentage of people who did that, but still, Gaules was well aware that people did do that after he had made jokes and actually reviewed the footage of Leaf, and then he continued to tweet about this in a joking manner, also which could be inferred as saying again that Leaf had cheated in that previous series because he shows a scoreboard afterwards where Leaf has apparently fallen off, and I think many people could see that tweet and think, oh, Leaf is now fallen off. That means he's toggled off his cheats, and maybe that means he even more so now he was cheating against MIBR in that series. That's where Dev1ce is coming from, and that's how I interpreted it. He also does touch on the fact, though, in a statement that Gaules has made as well, yes, it is very clear and obvious the Brazilian scene gets a lot of hate and xenophobic comments and, of course, racial slurs used towards them, which no one watching this agrees with or approves of, okay? No one likes that. But also, nobody likes death threats and threats of any kind being sent to any pro player of any age, especially a young Leaf, who, by the way, has not been confirmed cheating. My mentions on the daily are filled. And I don't mean to generalize here, but typically when I look at these accounts and it has been dozens of people saying, you are defending a cheater. He is a cheater. Where is the 100% proof or validation that Leaf is a cheater? And even so, to that end, it does not justify the means of sending him threats or death threats. And I think a lot of you guys watching can understand that and where Dev1ce and other pros are coming from. Now, to lighten up the issue, guys, I'll read off two statements I also read in yesterday's video that I think really do sum it up very well, that being Zeus and MBK, many other pros taking this stance as well. We might never see eye to eye when it comes time for the entire scene versus the Brazilian scene on this subject matter. I have made my points clear. Pros have made their points clear. The Brazilians have made their points clear. And the information is out there. As of right now, Leaf has not been convicted or found guilty of cheating in that series, and still we continue to talk about this, or at least some people do, as if he is a cheater. And even if he is a cheater and found to be, I will bite that bullet when the time comes to be. It does not justify what has been done to a young 16-year-old pro, in my opinion. As MBK had stated, I just don't get it. Can we say F you to the people that insult and are racist towards Brazilians and F you to the people that send death threats to a 16-year-old? Are we obliged to constantly add more hatred to hate? Did we forget how everyone loved Brazil when they dominated? And Zeus later replying saying, you said it all. F hate speech in any form, F bullying, and especially a special F you to death threats. And I'll leave you guys there to think on it. Thank you guys for all the support as of late, all the comments. I really cannot thank you guys enough. I am working on other esports cases specifically tied to CSGO. I hope you guys understand just a flood of stories has come in, and especially when it comes time for Red Eye and Banks, I am looking into the story. It's a lengthy one. I want to make sure I get my thoughts and words correct on that, just so you guys know that video will be out sometime in the future. Until next time, you guys know what to do. Drink that water, drink that coffee. I'll catch you guys back here sometime soon.